This video was originally created for a paid marketing and happiness in life workshop, and I have refined it, adding onto it information about how your subconscious works with your health for a free video on the Breathing in Life and Happiness page on Facebook. Welcome back. Now we're going to talk about the subconscious and the conscious mind. We don't think that much about our subconscious. It lies beneath the surface. It's kind of like an iceberg. Our consciousness is the 10% on the top. And the deeper part, the things that are not seen and that we don't know about, are 90% underneath. And though it is unseen, it controls so much of our behavior in life. It's kind of like a storehouse of memory and emotion. Over the years, you become programmed. And so you react to what your subconscious dictates. I know it sounds really crazy. And I'm even talking to my granddaughter about this, who's just 7 years old. Matter of fact, I call it her Mortimer McAllister. It's becoming a regular joke. I'm writing a children's book about it. And so even at this young age, our subconscious is dictating and pushing our buttons and making us react in a certain way. Now, it's not like there's no reason for the subconscious. I mean, in the past, it has kept us safe and it's kept us protected, but it's kept us protected from what it thinks is harm. And that's where the difficulty is. Not paying attention to our subconscious as pertaining to our business and our personal life can have devastating results. It can keep us stuck. So why is it doing it? Well, it wants you to be comfortable. It wants you to do and be in a place that's familiar, even if that familiar place is not some place that's best for you. And change is sometimes grueling, so it doesn't necessarily want you to change. But we're going to work on that. So we talked about the subconscious is kind of a file cabinet, a computer bank of our lives. It stores everything for us. It is not all bad. It has kept us alive and it puts us into action when we feel we're in danger, or it gets us into the fight, flight, or freeze mode. But what if we're not really in danger? What if it's just a misperception? It's important to check out that programming and make sure. We may need a little reprogramming of our own subconscious. One of the best examples I have of this happened to me a long time ago. I was teaching a drawing on the right side of the brain class, and I had both adult and a teenager student. And the one young lady was having a really difficult time with the class. And I was also at the time studying the brain and psychology and the subconscious. And so I invited the young girl aside from everybody else drawing and wanted just to pick her brain a little bit, because I was already digging into my subconscious to see what made me tick. And I wondered if our subconsciouses were going through the same thing. So I had asked her, I said to her, I bet you love to create. I love to create. Oh, yes, yes, she said. And we had this camaraderie together. And I said, I bet that I've been doing some research on it and just thinking about my own self. And if I couldn't create, I kind of felt like I would be one of those, the cartoon characters that would go, pop, and just disappear. And she says, yes, 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 that's how I feel too. And I said, well, I bet you create the best work when you're going through some really bad trials or you're angry or upset. She said, oh, yeah. And she wanted to tell me about a piece that she was working on that was one of her best pieces, and the anger and the pain and the angst that she was feeling. But I had her hold on, and I said, listen, I'm going to ask you a question. If you create your best work out of pain and angst, and you feel that you are going to cease to exist if you can't create, then what do you think that you will do in your life to keep creating? And she just sat back and she looked at me and she said, well, I guess I'll create pain in my life so I can keep creating my best work. And that's when we had this long dialogue about how you can create great work of art, not out of angst like a lot of writers and artists feel, but out of pleasure and happiness and great feelings. And so her subconscious was taking control of her and actually causing trauma, drama, angst in her life so that she could keep creating because she felt like she would die without it. So here is just a little example of how profound that subconscious can be. She was not in danger of really dying, but her subconscious kind of got that feeling that she would cease to exist. And so she created the angst that she needed to continue on. Incredible story. Now, my question to you is, she didn't know that was happening. What don't you know is happening? And again, you don't know what you don't know. So in the next chapter, what we're going to do is I'm going to give you some tools to figure out what exactly is hiding in your subconscious and how to find it. And there's really easy ways to do it. I'm going to teach you some of the tools to come against your subconscious. And it's simple as A, B, C, D. The first step is going to be A, or awareness. Once you have awareness that this is happening, which you are doing right here, then you are, just by observing and knowing that it's happening, you're beginning the process of stopping it. Now, these systems have been in place for a really long time, so it's going to be hard to get past them. So another thing that will have to happen as you start to realize things is that you'll have to breathe through them. I know it sounds like a very simple process, but there's not enough to be said about our breath. When Mortimer McAllister is taking control of my granddaughter, which I'm talking about is her subconscious, and she is down on the floor, upset, the only way that she can get out of it is to try to get her wits about her. And the first thing that happens is comes with your breath. So you just breathe in deep and out. And unless, I wish I could do a whole section on just breathing and meditation, but unless you can breathe on a regular basis and take control of that breath, it becomes very hard to pull it in when you're in the midst of that fight with your subconscious. I set my alarm at 10 and 4 every day. And then I try 10 minutes of meditation at 10 and 10 minutes of meditation at 4. And meditation, there's a lot of different things. I tell my granddaughter, you need to learn to play with your breath. If you play with your breath on a regular basis, then when you need it, it'll come in and you won't even know that you're using it as a weapon against your subconscious or Mortimer McAllister, as I tell her. It'll be like you're playing. So breath is AB. Number C is going to be clustering and counsel, and I'm going to teach you in those next couple classes. And D is going to be direction and determination. So let's go on and learn a little bit more. As I stated before, this video was done for a marketing workshop, but these things do apply even if you are trying to make yourself better and your health better. So pay attention to what we talked about before, and let's go on to the health and how your subconscious will affect your health and happiness. Well, there is a video on Intro to Health and Happiness, Practices, Basic, and Research Topics that we touched about some of these things. Here is the thing. How sick are you? And what are you willing to do to get better? For me, it meant me digging deep into what I was doing to make myself sick, whether it was diet, my activities, or even my thoughts. And so let's talk about that and our subconscious. Remember, it's scientifically proven that stress and your emotions and even past traumas can cause disease or make you ill. So digging into this and learning about these tools was a way for me to have power when I felt like there was no control. Follow along on the group Breathing in Life and Happiness on Facebook to learn about tools that can help you to control your subconscious and give you a healthy and happy life.